Hello, everyone. I have a green folder. I have a black folder. I have no gray folders. Let the Honorable Minister depart. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dawn Media, for this. And thank you so much for your team, for this amazing team of young people that you have assembled out here. And I think they need a hand. Discourse and gatherings like these are valuable. There's no doubt about it. They're critical. And we have in this room incredible thinkers and professionals, people who respect this earth, our earth. All of us do what we can to make a difference. And I'm honored to be here amongst all of you. So thank you. We all stand witness to the damage our species is doing to our planet. There is reason enough for dissent, loud dissent. If a single message was clear yesterday, it is the situation is dark. But I believe it is not bleak, because all is still not lost. Backwinding the Anthropocene to the Holocene is not an option. Containing global temperatures to 1.5 degrees is, well, temperatures will rise. They will rise. Our lives will have to adapt. Adaptation is the next step to mitigation. Minimal. I find that as a new normal for myself. Of this caliber. But a thought thread for us. Climate crisis frightening? Or do we find it sad? Or overwhelming to the point of inertia? Myself? I am furious about wars. I am angry about our greed and abuse of fossil fuels. Profoundly sad about the human pain felt in cities, habitation, homes. All of our homes. I also cry when a tree is cut. Damage, discord, not harmony with nature seems to be the norm, especially in our urban environment. Our cities are out of control. Everything seems to be a free for all. Regulated development is required, but it must be implemented effectively. And effective administration is an incredible challenge. We are witness to that in all aspects of our life. How do you administer a city that has multiple adjacent and independent municipalities? I'm talking about my hometown, Karachi, and many other locations and cities in this country. Good laws exist. They still exist because they change. But new ones are needed, ones that are accepted by all. These will have to take into consideration the needs of people and the constraints of nature. Sensitivity to sociology and science is paramount. Let me overstate that. The future cannot exist in quality without the sensitivity to human needs and to the constraints, physical constraints of science. However, we have educated ourselves into silos, separating ecology from engineering and science from humanities. Philosophy is put aside for entrepreneurship. And please note, I work with entrepreneurs. I have spent a lifetime doing that in my architectural practice. But without philosophy and the quality of abstract, esoteric thinking and questioning, entrepreneurship is limited. But why is philosophy put aside for entrepreneurship? I ask myself that question many times, and I ask all of you the same question. It needs to be considered, deliberated on, and implemented. This has resulted in a fragmented thinking in a world today that requires a holistic, integrated, and deeply sensitive understanding of issues. But we work in specializations with pressure to get the job delivered and the bottom line maximized. It's a narrow focus. Our lives are lived in a narrow focus and in a small subset of a small silo. The critically needed long-term wide view often recedes into the background. That is sad. Our cities have problems with planning, zoning, order. Topping the list is untreated effluent discharge and solid waste. All of our cities have a problem with effluent discharge. There's exceptional work being done in some of our cities on solid waste. Exceptional. And I have to praise that. But so much still drains directly into the sea, river, or the Nala, not into sewage treatment plants, STPs, or into solid waste facilities. Drainage systems get clogged or built upon, streets flood, sewage-rich waters stagnate and cause atrophic bacterial and algal blooms. Disease vectors spread. It's only common sense. Feces-contaminated subsoil water is often used for bathing and drinking. Nothing new. Is it an acceptable normal? Drinking water is ostensibly safe when it's bottled and sold at massive profit. It's a question that needs serious consideration. Bottled water from RO plants results in concentrated waste. We know that. Where does it go? Often it is pumped back into its source aquifer. Again, another question. Our communities have been divided into them that cannot afford to drink clean water and those that can. Our cities, our lives suffer from deep, deep inequities. This is overwhelming. And it should be so for all of us. I do ask what I'm personally doing about this. And as a starting point, I find myself advocating for the need to push for equitable urban development and policies that work alongside nature's systems. And policies, let me repeat, and policies that work alongside nature's systems. Equity. Equity is not just for the human species. My focus is on creating healthier cities. All of our focus as planners, as administrators. needs to be that. Restoring and protecting what we have removed from nature and keeping safe whatever still remains is so very important. For Karachi, I stand firmly as an advocate for nature reserves on our islands, specifically Bundle Island and Kipniawala. The city requires them to be covered in mangroves, not human commercial enterprises. There should be contiguous, interconnected parks. New green zones and tree-lined streets are required. Older, neglected spaces should be replanted with biodiverse tree cover. Buildings should not be placed there. Buildings should not be placed where land has been designated and planned for as a park. It's common sense. Pakistan is blessed with the Indus River and its tributaries. It's an incredible gift. Its banks and floodplains have to be reforested. Harvestable crop trees grown for local community use. Local community use. Our floodplains should not be covered with concrete development. Floodplains will flood. That is what floods do on floodplains. So why put hotels there? Why put housing colonies there? Why compromise the lives of the future of the children who will be born and grow there? Again, it's axiomatic, it's simple, and it's obvious. And the reasons why it's done need to be questioned by ourselves, to ourselves, and to everyone that is around us. Can biospheres form? Please remember that we have this incredible Indus River and its tributaries running from the delta in the south to the mountains, the Himalayas in the north. I cannot identify another single country that has this expanse of subsoil water resource and floodplains and wetlands that Pakistan has. So the question is, can biospheres form? Will they change localized climate wherever they exist or are grown? What happens when they exist along the entire length of our country? What happens when the entire length of the Indus River becomes a biosphere? This is not a hypothetical argument. It is a very possible, doable argument, and the technical expertise in our country, in Pakistan, is readily available. I see this today as a stellar green opportunity. The scale of this gift of geology, geography, and ecology is incredible. But who will reach out to claim its laurel? There are many, many accolades to be earned. And my call is for people to do some deep thinking and seize an opportunity that is just lying there. But it has to be for the people. It has to be for the citizens and the communities that exist along the river, and not for corporations. The day of mega corporations and globalization are dying. It is and has to be about local benefit, and the benefit to the lowest denominator that we have identified as a city in our communities. Pakistan is already generating carbon credits on the eastern delta, but the mangrove plantation work needs to be undertaken on the islands of Karachi, its western delta as well. These islands should not be developed into high-rise communities or industrial zones. They need to become protected areas for nature reserves and intertidal biodiversity. For our progeny to live healthy, productive lives, we need our cities to exist in this intersection, the nexus of man and nature. That is the only way forward. And it is the possibility and a potential that can create a sea change for our society, community, our country. It is there for us to seize, it is there for us to attempt to achieve. The fix to our stressed cities is complex. And yes, I do believe that smart green cities are possible. The caveats are there. But the caveats are not unsurmountable, and they don't require incredible amounts of money. The resources are available here with us at home, homegrown. So the fix is complex, but it starts with something very simple. It starts with planting and protecting trees. It starts with protecting trees. It continues with respect for nature in the cities of us, the Homo sapient animal. And I leave this with an unanswered question. Will we put value on our izzat-e-nafs? Will we look at our zamir, to look at the future for our progeny and our community and our country and our respect, self-respect? Thank you very much.